Okay, welcome to the Bliss Squad team call and also the Fearlessly Free team call. We combined today because we just wanted both teams to be on to be able to hear Ashley. So let me share my screen. Ashley is literally lit. So she's our great grandma coach. So Kelsey and I's coach is Sydney, and Sydney's coach is Kate, and Kate's coach is Ashley. So we are so excited to have her on tonight. She is a 9-star diamond, Success Club 10 legend, which is literally goals. She was premier in 2017, elite in 2018, number 22 in the freaking company, retired first grade teacher, which is my life goal, but third grade. And she's a dog mama and a fiance. So we are just so freaking lucky to have her tonight. Kelsey and I honestly freaked out when we messaged her and she was like, yeah, I'll do it. We were like, what the heck? We look up to her so much and she just believes in this business so much, and that's why we wanted to get her on, because we do have a lot of new coaches and also coaches who have been here for a while, and we all just need kind of that like motivation to just believe in the business and just freaking run with it. So Ashley.
Yay! Can you guys see me? Hear me?
Yeah.
It's so funny that I just want to pin my video. It's so funny that you're like, oh, we were so excited because you guys, I mean, Kelsey and Megan, you guys don't like see yourselves through my eyes, and to me, you guys influence me, inspire me so much. Like, you guys are so much further in your business, however long you've been in this, than I was my first couple of months. So if I can tell you anything, I just want to preface this call by saying, stick with this. Deal? Like, just stick with this. But you guys have incredible leaders, and Kelsey and Megan are up and coming. I mean, already up, but just rocking this. And Team Elevate wouldn't be the same without you guys. And I'm so excited to see you guys on the cruise. Yay. Okay. So let's jump into this. They asked me to pop on and talk a little bit about leadership, and I'm going to kind of talk about everything between the lines of where you should start as a beginning coach, taking it through, mastering your leadership mindset, and a little bit about my story and the mistakes that I don't want you to make that I made. Okay. Sound good? I'm going to share my screen because otherwise I will be a squirrel. Can you guys, wait, I don't want you to see that. I want you to see, oh my gosh, hold on. Can you guys see that? Yes? Good? Wait, I don't want you to see that either. This is what I want you to see. Can you see this? Okay, here we go. Squirrel. All right, so let's talk about mastering your leadership mindset and taking major action in order to move your business forward. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard my story. I'm going to kind of give a short little brief overview of who I am and where I was pre-Beachbody. So I wanted to teach my whole life, grew up in upstate New York. I had a lot of inconsistencies in my life. My mom had been married 4 times before I was 13. She was always out of the house, like stepbrothers and sisters in, stepbrothers and sisters out, stepdads and stepmoms in, and then them out. So a lot of things were inconsistent in my life. But one thing that was always so consistent in my life was my mentally challenged uncle, who, if you guys have ever heard me talk about him, his name is Dickie. He's like the best thing on the planet. My tattoo is of his birthday. But he was basically my caregiver when my mom was working a ton of jobs and our life was so inconsistent. So I remember so vividly going to elementary school and learning to read and write and coming home and reteaching him everything. And so that really instilled this strong sense of leadership and mentorship in my core. And so I knew that I wanted to teach. I wanted to be in charge of teaching young minds to read and write. So I went through high school, went through my undergrad and college. I fell in love with my now fiance, who's sitting right next to me. But our sophomore year of college, we decided that we were going to make the distance work. He was in Baltimore and I was in Rochester, in Buffalo at the time, which was about a 7-hour difference. And we did the distance for a year and a half until I graduated and picked up my life and moved it to Baltimore, where we are now. I fell right into a teaching position. I fell right into a master's program to become a reading specialist. And all of a sudden, my life went from like student to adult really quickly within 3 months. And my plate was overflowed. Raise your hand if you feel like you're busy. Are you busy? Yeah, right? Me too. And I went and I was this 20-year-old. I was 20 years old at the time when I got my first job. And I was waking up in Baltimore, driving outside of DC every single day. So that was about a 40-mile drive, and it was about an hour long with traffic every single day. And then driving on the opposite side of Baltimore to go to grad school 2 nights a week. At 20 years old, a new career, a new relationship, a new literally everything, I was starting to pour and pour and pour. And I had nothing left for me at the end of the day. I wasn't pouring back into my cup. And it was January of 2015 where I decided, Ashley, you have to do something. I was sitting at 203 pounds. I hated who I was in the mirror. I was a kick-ass teacher, but I was coming home and I was beating myself up for who I'd become. And I needed to do something. And I had zero knowledge in how to get healthy and fit. So I signed up for a gym. I found a midway point. I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, drive 30 minutes, run 3 miles, shower there, get ready, finish my commute to work. And I would do that. I did that for 2 weeks until I burnt out. And I remember laying in bed. It was Tyler's birthday weekend in 2015. So February of 2015, and we were laying in bed. And I remember looking over at him and saying, and I saw a picture on social media and I said, she looks like me on the left, and I craved to look like her on the right. And she didn't have this dream body, guys. She wasn't this 6-figure earner. She didn't have anything incredible, but she was so proud of herself. She had committed to something for 21 days, and she had changed her life in those 3 weeks. And that picture changed my whole life. So if you ever feel insignificant about sharing something, don't, because you have a gift to give. That 21 day before and after photo landed me where I am today, where I'm going tomorrow, where I'll be in a year from now. And I'm so thankful for that post that changed my world. And so I've always led the way that my coach had given this opportunity to me. She gave it to me in the form of proving to me what I'm capable of through her sharing her story. So I've always loved with sharing my story. And I think that Team Elevate in general, we can pride ourselves on the fact that we are so driven on getting results and sharing our story. We're very young. We're young professionals or finding our feet in our career, right? And so we can really relate to people on like the low surface level of, we don't deserve to live these vanilla lives. We deserve to live these incredible lives, and let's live them. And so I've always led with that. And so I guess when you fell into this opportunity, I fell in love with 21 Day Fix very quickly. Honestly, I had battled eating disorders my whole life. I asked for Nutrisystem for my 16th birthday, failed. Got Weight Watchers, failed. Like, tried literally everything. I just thought that I was always going to be this yo-yo dieter, this fad dieter. Like, that was just my thing. And then Beachbody came into my life, and it taught me how to eat. Like, I'm very driven on knowledge, and it taught me how to like fuel my body. And I was getting results for the first time in my life, and I wasn't restricting myself. And so when my coach, Caitlin, who was actually a childhood friend of mine, she told me, Ashley, pay that forward, share that with people. It wasn't like, no, I can't, like, I don't have time. What are the policies and procedures? No, that's a pyramid scheme. I didn't have time for all of that, because I knew what it had done for my life, that I was eager to share that and pay that forward to other people. So raise your hand if these programs have changed your life, or even if you've been a coach for a week or a couple days, if you feel like you've been a little bit changed by this, raise your hand. I know Kelsey and Meg's life have been totally turned around because of these programs and the community and the culture. We should never be afraid to hold that back. And so when I started this business, and Keisha said it on Team Elevate call the other day, she said, when you start this business, it becomes less about you and it becomes more about other people. We have the opportunity to change people's lives. And we are the perfect example of that, of what it's done to us, right? And so today, 4 years into this business, I worked my butt off the first couple of years to live the life that we live today. And I won't ever be afraid to say that. I think I was listening to Grant Cardone today. He said, why is this so normal for people to be like, oh, I'm so broke? And that's just like normal. And people will like hug you and like pat your back. Oh, I know you're so broke. I'm so sorry. It's like normal for people to be like, how's your day? And you're like, oh, I just paid bills and got nothing left. That's just like a normal thing, right? But the second somebody says like, oh, I'm a 6-figure earner, or I made an incredible income, people are like, ew, like, you're icky, that's gross. No way. Let's lose that. Like, I'll never be afraid to say that I work my butt off to make a 6-figure income and be able to, we're building our dream house right now. We're planning our dream wedding right now. And you guys are all capable of doing those things. You just have to believe you can. The one thing that I didn't do my first year in this business was believe that I could. I was just this normal girl who had failed at a lot of things. I wouldn't be good at something like this. And I allowed that to shape who I was, because I was just this normal girl in my brain who had failed at a lot of things. And so lose that. Your past does not dictate who you are or where you're going. Sure, you needed to be her to become who you're becoming, but you're not her forever. So really, I want you to shape yourselves into who you want to become by becoming her today. And so I want to go through these next couple slides with you and just talk to you about the transition that I had to make in my business. And I want to be able to talk to you brand new coaches, be able to talk to coaches who have been in this for maybe months, a year, or however long, and really help you just kind of shift that focus. Okay. So this is my life. Okay. Controlling the controllable things. I want you guys to put in the chat the one thing that we cannot control. The one thing in this business, the one thing in our lives, the one thing on this planet that we can't control is what? People, right? Yes. We can't control people. So this business, Success Club, is determined on people, right? Emerald is determined on people. Diamond, people, right? Income, people. So this thing that we can't control is the one thing that controls our success in this business, right? When I was a brand new coach, I literally would try to shake people to get them to say yes. I would be like, you have to coach, you have to, like, it's good for, you could just have to do it. And I would just try to like shake it out of them that I could never relate to anybody. But then I realized that in order for me to become successful, I had to lose trying to control the uncontrollable things. And I had to start focusing on the controllable items that would get me one step closer to helping people say yes. So I know that Success Club is driven from helping people say yes, right? It's driven from helping people say yes. So in order for me to help people say yes, I have to prove to those people why they should say yes. That why. And this is going to be the theme that I'm going to talk about throughout this training, is this why. And this consistent reason of why you signed up. So I just got done telling you guys my story. I was a teacher. I lacked knowledge. I needed support. For me, it was a no-brainer that I wanted to lead with this because my life had been changed. That's my why. For once in my life, it was something that helped me gain self-love and a healthy relationship with food. So I'm talking about that all the time. Now, I can't make people say yes and make people feel like this is important to them, but I can allow them to see themselves through my story by sharing that why, so that maybe I can help the other Ashleys of the world see, okay, well, she just got done with Weight Watchers and failed. Well, maybe I should just try what Ashley's doing. She said that she failed Weight Watchers too. Or maybe Sue over here is really lacking a community. And Ashley said that she has this incredible community, so why don't I just try to help her? So instead of trying to shake people and being so frustrated that nobody's signing up, focus on the things that are going to get you one step closer. Focus on those controllable items, getting in the best shape of your life. You guys just need to get results. You want to know why the top coaches are at the top? It's because people trust them. It's true. People trust them. I don't go to Starbucks. I literally ask Ty. Well, you can't ask Ty, but literally, every time we drive by Starbucks, my light, like, I shine. Today I was like, oh my God, there's a Starbucks, let's go. Like, I get so excited when I see Starbucks because I trust them, because they always deliver the best coffee to me. I'm a Starbucks lover. Lululemon, every time we walk by a Lululemon, my butt is in there buying a pair of Align pants because I trust the shit out of them, right? I'm wearing a pair right now. I am always wearing a pair because I trust them and I love the way they grab my hips. I just trust the brand. And so you have to build that trust with people. They have to be able to trust your brand. You have to be so in love with your journey and shifting your own life, and your smile needs to get a little bit brighter every single day, so that when Sally's ready, or when Sue is finally decided that she's got to do something, or maybe Sam, she gets engaged and she needs to get ready for her wedding. Or maybe, Sarah had a really bad day at work today and she really just wants to go home and have something that she can focus on. Whatever. You just have to be that person for people. You have to be this trustworthy brand, but you have to be in it. you have to stay with it, because your first month, you're not going to build a ton of trust, but your month 2, you're going to start building more. And then month 3, you know what can happen in 3 months? In 3 months, I've gotten in the best shape of my life. I let myself go last year because I was so focused on my business that I gained a ton of weight. And then I got in the best shape of my life in the past 3-4 months because I decided that I was going to. And my business has totally changed because of it. The leaders on our team have changed because of it, because I'm setting a shining example. And even maybe you don't even have coaches right now. Maybe you, oh, that wind is really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that wind outside. Can you guys hear me though? Okay, at least my connection's not bad. But you're that shining example. Even if you don't have coaches right now, your soon-to-be coaches, your prospects who are watching you from the sidelines, when they do sign up, you're going to be the shining example of who they're going to become, okay? So just control those controllable things. You have to make the decision. You can't just kind of be in. You can't just kind of be out. You can't just tiptoe into this, because if you tiptoe into this, you're not going to see what it's truly about. You have to be all in. Let your yes be yes. You've seen it transform people's lives. You've seen it totally turn around people's lives because they decided that they were going to let it. The only thing holding from where you are right now and where you want to be is just is action and the decision to put in that work. So you just have to decide that you are in this, that you're getting on every team call. I want you to treat this business as if you're leading a team of 100 women. I want you to get on every team call as if you have 100 coaches on that call with you. I want you to show up on social media as if you're already at Success Club 10, as if you're already a diamond or star diamond coach, as if you're already making a 6-figure income and you're running a kick-ass business. I want you to treat your business with that confidence, that when Kate signed up with me in 2017, she was like, it's so funny because I already thought you were making 6 figures and I already thought that you were like this big, bad coach. And then she's got to see me like transform over the last 2 years. And it's just so funny because that's how I've kind of always been, because I've always seen myself where I wanted to go. You kind of have to fake it until you make it. And I really hate that saying because it's, you know, you have to stay true to yourself. But when you have that confidence on social media, when you are that light, when your smile gets a little bit brighter and that twinkle in your eye gets a little bit shinier, people start to see that. And they're not going and signing up at Planet Fitness. They're signing up with you because they trust you. But you have to decide that you're in this. Best way for you guys to be successful is to decide to fall in love with your journey. Just fall in love with your journey. Be head over heels in love with it. Get in the best shape of your life. You won't want to hold this back from anybody. You get in the best shape of your life by letting Shanti transform your life. You're telling every single soul around you, because that's going to radiate you. I would never be ashamed to share my love of my hair extensions or my makeup or my Lululemon leggings, because I love them. You know, they surround me all the time. Same thing with Beachbody programs. They changed my world. You should never be afraid to hold something back that you love. And maybe some people are going to judge you because it's untraditional. I got so judged. My brother to this day doesn't agree with what I do for a living, but I don't need him to agree with what I do. Or I don't need him to support what I do for a living, because I love it. And I have the other Ashleys right here. I have 15 of you on this call right now who have seen that passion, and you've been able to, you know, see something big in it. So just make the decision and understand that, sure, maybe Sally's not your target market on social media, but Sue might be. So talk to her. And every single post, just like my coach Caitlin posted that night, and she probably wasn't like, oh, I'm going to find my dream coach tonight. This post is going to do it. This post is going to be that shining post. No, it was just a transformation post that she was sharing on social media, right? But that's the post that changed my whole freaking world, okay? You never know what a post is going to do. Just decide to show up, okay? All right, sacrifices. I want you guys to quickly put in the chat the list of your 4 top priorities in your life. So my 4 top priorities is my relationship with Tyler and my dogs, my health, my business, and my family. What are your 4 top priorities in your life? Family, business, dogs, marriage, relationship, work. Awesome. Cool. Keep those coming in. So I stole this from Melanie Mitro when she was on our call a couple months ago, but she said when she was making a major transition to running a kick butt business, she had to ask herself throughout her day, what were her actions that weren't aligning to her priorities? So you need to start creating this priority list. So when I was a teacher, some things that I would do when I was teaching was I would wake up, literally roll out of the bed in the morning. I would be like a sloth, like not looking forward to the day, so tired. I would listen to crap music on my way to work. I would like scurry around to get my day ready. During lunch, I would go to the teacher's lounge and I would just gossip with people who did not fill my cup. I'd stay late. I'd bring work home. And I was just living this life that I was not living it to my fullest. I was a kick butt teacher, but all of the off hours were like me trying to like scurry around to get my life together. And so that didn't, and then I'd come home and I'd watch Netflix, or we'd eat like crap, or we'd do something that didn't align to my priorities. So something that I had to change was when I started this business was that I had to wake up and start by filling my cup. So I woke up and started working out. I listen to personal development instead of music on my way to work. I would get to work early and I would give myself time to get ready for the day. During lunchtime, I would grade all my papers, do all my grad school work. And then I would make sure I didn't bring anything home, because when I was going home, it was slipping on my entrepreneur pants and working my business. And so I would work my business for 2 hours and then like periodically throughout the night. And then I would have Tyler, who was Tyler and my dogs, which are one of my priorities. And I would give them time in my life as well. And so you just have to make this list. Maybe cutting out Netflix Monday through Friday might be something that you have to do. But Netflix or a successful 6-figure business, right? Live life now how others won't, so you can live life later how others cannot. How cool would it be to live your life in 3 years from now, while all of your friends are still figuring out their career, or while all of your friends are, watching you shine in this business? And it's what you're doing right now. It's the action that you're putting right now is what's going to determine where you are in 3 years from now. So really make those sacrifices and identify them. And maybe on Monday, it's going to be a little bit easy to cut it out. But then on Tuesday, your bad habits start to trickle in. And now identify the bad habits that start to trickle in and cut it. And then Wednesday, and then just start building a routine out of it, guys. We aren't just born ready to crush life. We have to learn things. We've learned bad habits, so now it's time to turn them around and learn healthy habits. It's just about becoming a little bit better every single day. And remember that your future coaches are going to do exactly what you do. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. Okay, so the action, the not so sexy stuff. We all know what this is. The inviting, the posting when we don't really want to on social media, right? The having to come up with content, the getting on team calls when we're tired and we want to go to sleep. These are all not so sexy things that move our business forward, but we have to do them. And think about the well analogy. For anybody who's never heard the well analogy, you have this brand new well. You're pumping the well. You just have to trust that the water pressure is starting to grow underground. You're just trusting, okay, it's growing. I know it's growing. It's growing. I'm just going to keep pumping and pumping and pumping, and use this indication of this pumping, or this parallel from this pumping is you sending invites and you posting on social media and you working out every single day. You just have to trust that it's working, and you pump and you pump and you pump. Well, there's 2 different types of people in this business. The first type of person sees a droplet of water come out and they say, all that pumping for 1 droplet of water, screw that. Like, I'm done. And they start pumping less and less until they don't pump anymore at all. And then this other person sees this droplet of water as an indication that there's more to come. So they keep pumping and they start pumping harder and harder and harder. And their passion starts to grow bigger and bigger and bigger until Success Club 5 is easy. Success Club 10 is simple. Coaches start flowing freely to them because they're just putting in the work and they're building the trust. Remember, Starbucks didn't just get my drink right once. They got it right a lot of times. And so that's how I started building trust with them. Remember that. You have to keep showing up for these people in order for you to start building momentum in your business. But it's not sexy and some of it's not fun. But you don't have to like what you're doing to like why you're doing it, or to like what you're doing it for. You don't have to like sending invites, because I don't. You don't have to like jumping on new coach calls or jumping on team calls all the time, because I don't always. but I love what I do it for. I love helping another woman quit her job if that's what she wants to do. I love helping one more girl hit diamond or make her first $500. And I know that those not so sexy actions, reaching out on social media. I know there are people sitting at home right now praying for something like this. They just don't know it exists. Or maybe they do know the Beachbody exists, but they don't truly understand what it entails. And there's so many people out there praying for something with this culture and with this pay and with this community and the trips and the being able to change your life. There's somebody out there praying for those things. It's our job to go put the action in and find those people. Okay? Okay, last 2 things I want to talk about. I want you to make a dream coach list. And some of you might have already done this with me, but I want you to do it again. I want you to make a list of what your dream coach attributes are. So a couple of my things are somebody who breathes positivity and light on social media. Somebody who wakes up and pours into her journey because she knows that her life depends on it. Somebody who is on team calls and she is there. She's present. She's distraction free. She's showing up. She's just she's taking the things from team calls and she's applying it to her business every single week. My coach is somebody who sees Success Club as just a decision and she does it the first week of the month. My dream coach is somebody who goes to Super Saturday, even if she's the only person there that she knows, because she knows she has the ability to grow and build her brand in her community. My dream coach is somebody who doesn't wait for me to give her knowledge, but she goes out and she seeks this knowledge. So I want you to make this dream coach list. I'm going to have you just a minute. Okay. So you guys can keep growing that, as time goes on, but I want you to take that list and now I want you to take a good hard look in the mirror. And I want you to ask yourself, am I her? Am I being her? Because if you're not going to grow a successful business. And so in 2017, when I had my major transition year, my dad was admitted into rehab in 2017. We picked up our life. We had a couple rent out our house. We moved to Canandaigua. Tyler and I, he was living here and I was living in Rochester, New York. We were 6 hours apart. My life was just crazy. It was a tornado. And I had a major transition in that time period. And I had to either shit or get off the pot. I either had to work this business or I had to go back to teaching. And I couldn't think of the alternative. I was not going back to teaching. So I had to create this dream coach list and I had to take a look in the mirror and I wasn't her. I was hitting Success Club the last week of every single month. And I mean, like, I'm losing trust with everybody the first 3 weeks. And then the last week I would just scurry around. I was not showing up on team calls. I was canceling my own team calls because I didn't feel like showing up. I wasn't going to Super Saturday, ever. I wasn't showing up on my Team Boom team calls, my uplines, our Way Uplines team calls. I wasn't doing a lot of things. So I had to make a transition and I had to be her. So if you're on your list, the word determined, consistent, passionate, whatever words you laid out on your list, you have to become her. Because even if you don't have anybody on your team right now, they're watching you. You have your future customers and clients on your team right now, and they are so eager to join you. They just need to maybe hear one more right thing. They need to see you become the coach that they want to join, so that when they do sign up, it's just simple. It's just already what you're doing. It's already ingrained inside of you. And we all have the ability to do it. We just have to decide that we can. All right, girls, that's all I got.
Oh my gosh, Ashley, like literally every time you just speak, it's just so evident how much like you believe in this business and like you believe in like everyone on your team. Like the fact that you are our great grandma coach and like you're willing to like reach out to us and like our teams. It's just like honestly makes us feel so loved and valued. So just know like we appreciate
I love you guys. For real, I do.
Yeah, it's just like it's crazy that people like I didn't even know 10 months ago have become like family. And that's what I want, and I like what Megan wants too, like for all of our coaches. But I loved how you talked about how you can't be kind of in. Like, you either are in or you're out. And Megan and I this summer actually like talked about that, how we were just like screwing around. We were like inviting like 3 days, like here and there, and like skipping for like a week or two, and just like, why is everyone else seeing success and we're not? And it's like, when you decide to be all in, and like you said, like, build that trust with your followers, it's a game changer. Like, and just falling in love, and like, whenever, like, because there was a point in my journey, I think I reached out to you on Instagram. I was like, I've fallen out of love with my journey. How did you turn that around? And if you're at any point in your journey and just like feel like you're struggling, like, it's a simple mindset change. You have to decide, are you in, are you out, and like what you need to change to get there. And I like how you also—
It's not fun. It's not fun when you're not all the way in. Like, when you're looking around at other people who are all the way in, it's not fun, you know?
No. And like, you just see the excitement, like watching people's stories, like, oh my gosh, she does this filled with light. And so just changing that mindset. And the quote that you said kind of earlier, but you mentioned it like months ago, you said, act like you're running a 6-figure business before you're making a dime, was like that switch for me. And I know like several coaches that have joined my team are like, oh my gosh, I totally thought that you were making so much more. And it's like, it's so true, because you're just like, I know success is going to happen for me because I'm doing the things now. I also told Carter, like, it's a season of sacrifice. Like, I'm waking up at 4 a.m., working out and sending invites for now, so that later I don't have to like go to a job.
Right.
I kind of want to open up a little bit for some questions. But first I want to ask, what are some of your like top tips or advice you have for new coaches?
Lose the word overwhelm, because starting a business is starting a business, guys. You said yes to something that's going to change your whole world. And of course you're adding something new on your plate. The biggest like misconception with new coaches is that they feel like it's just going to become so simple, like such a breeze, but you're learning something totally new. That feeling of like a new semester of school, like, oh my gosh, like I have so much on my plate. You just treat it as something that you're going to get through. It's just like, you're kind of in a dark room, and you have to learn where things are right now. You just have to like learn where your pencil is, and you have to learn where your toilet is, and you have to learn where things are, until one day all of a sudden the lights come on, and then it's simple. Because this business is very simple. It's just, it's not easy in the sense that you do have to show up every single day, but it's very simple. Just show up and understand that it is something new, and you're going to go through this season of not overwhelm, because you're not going to overwhelm as a mindset, but of something new. It's going to be a trial, and it's going to be you failing forward and you figuring out something new in your life.
I love that. And if you guys have questions, feel free to like either unmute yourself or drop them in the comments. One thing I think you're really good at is creating like a fun and positive team culture. Can you talk a little bit about how you do that?
Yeah. So it's so funny. I talk about like my coach that I signed up with. I don't know if you guys know this, but like I don't have a coach anymore. I signed up with a coach. She quit. I had another coach. She doesn't work the business. I had another coach. She doesn't work the business. So I was kind of like an orphan. And so I always said, I want to create the team that I never had. Like I want to create the culture that I always lacked. And so I was an all-star cheerleader my whole life, and I just loved being a part of something. And honestly, like, I say to Ty, like, how are we going to have 700 bridesmaids? And like consistently I'm like, okay, but I want this person in the wedding. He's like, stop it. Because we build these relationships, and I think that this business just thrives on that. And it's so funny because I see people like, you guys have 13 people on your call. You had 15 people on your call tonight. And I jump on some top team calls and they have like 20 people on their call. And it's just like crazy to me that like our team calls are our weeks, you know, our times to be together. And it's such a cool feeling to be a part of something where you thrive on becoming better, and you literally have a group of people who claps for you. But when you focus on becoming your best self and becoming the person that other people want to be around, you start to create this culture. And I started just adding a little pebble to my pile every single day. One person changes and turns into 2. And now 2 people turn into 5. And then one day I just turned around and it was this giant mountain of people who have the same mentality, the same mindset, the same wanting to be a part of something as you do. And now you call it this tribe of people that are creating this momentum. And so you get to create whatever you want to create. For me, it was to become a part of something that I never had.
Yeah. I think also the quote is like, you're not talking to everybody when you're on your stories, like you're talking to their use. And I think that is something that's a lesson that I like learned recently, because I felt like I wasn't being my true self on my stories, just kind of saying the right things, doing the right things. So that's something I've been working on like lately, but by being yourself, like unapologetically yourself on your stories, you're going to find like your people. And I think that in return, like also helps build that team culture. Who was it, like Ashley Molstad at New Leadership this year, her call, she's like, I built like $1 million business being like an alcoholic and like something else. Just like she's so herself.
Right. She just started. If you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the last one that I have is, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are some things you wish you would have started doing earlier in your business?
Sharing my why. I thought that, like you said, Kels, I was trying to attract anybody with a pulse. I would try to attract like the perfect version of Ashley. I would go out and try to find like these yoga lovers because I thought they'd be awesome at running a business. Or I'd go out and find like these acai bowl lovers. I would literally find juice bars in Baltimore and like follow those people who like I could not resonate with. My life had been heavy my whole life, and this changed my life because it helped me build knowledge. And so I couldn't relate to those people. I didn't tell my story. I like lost the why and I jumped right to the how. How am I doing it? Why am I, or like, well, I win. The wind is insane. Like showing up and just narrating. I was never sharing this why. The second that I did, I started to attract the other people who can relate to me. Started attracting the other teachers, the other nurses, the other people in these selfless jobs where they needed to become a part of something, or they needed to finally fill up their own cup because I started telling that piece of my story. Now, I look back at 2015, I have 2 coaches left from 2015. I have very few coaches left from 2016 because I wasn't speaking my truth in those years, because those were my foundational years where I had to figure out who the hell I was. So don't make my mistakes. Become you on social media, like Kelsey said, and just become true to your story, because that's what you have over me. That's what you have over Melanie Mitro. That's what you have over Bonnie Engel, top coaches in this network, is your story, and that's your superpower.
Oh, I love that. I love every time you speak. Literally, Megan and I just like creep your YouTube channel all the time.
Oh yeah,
like watching all your calls. Does anyone have anything else? Because that's all I got. Let's see. The days you don't feel like talking on your stories or just unplugging, how do you deal with that?
I don't. If I don't feel like, I mean, there are some days that I don't show up in my story. I mean, I'll always like show up sometime, like things, but like I don't always show up on my stories. You know, it's okay to be human. But it's also like so many new coaches come in here like, okay, but like, I don't want to come off weird, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. Or I had a coach who was like an old coach, and then she came back and she's like, okay, but I'm like so nervous to talk about it. Like, how should I come out? I'm like, just tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. Speak your truth on social media. You quit. Why? Why did you quit coaching before? Why did you sign back up? Tell them why. Let them see that. So if you're having a bad day, tell them why. Let them relate to you. Let them see that you're a normal person. But when you come back brighter than you were before. And let them know, oof, I just needed that unplugged day. I had I was PMSing so bad the other day. Like I just turned my stories off for the whole day. And I just needed to unplug. I sat and watched the British Baking Show all day long. And I came back brighter the next day. And so just you're human. And like that's what Melanie Mitro has, she doesn't live this luxurious life. 4-time top coach, Melanie Mitro. She doesn't live this luxurious life. She lives in Mars, Pennsylvania. She could be living in the beaches of LA or someplace incredible, but she's relatable. She's a mom who's devoted to her family, and she just relates to people. She has a vanilla lifestyle, but people can see themselves through her story. So don't be afraid to just speak your truth.
I love that. Like being relatable, like you said, speaking your truth, and people see right through that too, and like finding those connections. Does anyone have anything else? All right. You got anything, Megan? Nope. Let's take a selfie. I don't have a fancy Mac, so it's just going to be a phone selfie. All right. So if you have your camera covered, uncover it now. Great. 3, 2, 1. Nice.
Yay!
Thank you so much,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
You're so welcome. I will see you guys later. Have a good night.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.